So this is a test. I got Cubase here. This is Barrett. How's it going? I figured I made up an idea last night, and I figured I'd just show you guys some stuff that I know about recording. I really don't know a whole lot. I've always been kind of a do-it-yourselfer kind of recording kind of guy. First thing you want to do is you want to figure out your tempo. So in this case, this little song goes about like this. So what I like to do is I have my Boss metronome DB90, or you could just use a phone and go to like a metronome app. Like I have, there's one called Pro Metronome that I like to use, and use a tap tempo. So I tap the tempo, ba 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 ba, and it's giving me about 105, something around like that. I can't stress enough how important this process is. It might seem a little mundane. We haven't even started recording anything yet. But the thing is, what you want to do is you want to play what you're going to record with your tempo that you have set that you think you want, and just see how it feels. So I have 105 set there now, but I just played with it, and it definitely feels a little slow. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but sometimes you just got to play it to figure it out. So here's 110. So 110 actually feels a little fast. So let's go with 109. In reality, humans can barely even feel the difference between 109 and 110. But, I felt like it was a little fast, so I'm going with 109. So now that I have my tempo set, the cool thing about Cubase is that it automatically gives you a click track. Some programs you have to go and make a click track, and then, it depends on your song. If your song has lots of different tempo sets, that's really a pain because then you have to actually set the click first. But we're pretty much just going to go through and do the whole song. If you can do the whole song in one tempo, that's the way to go, man, because that's just the way to go. It's easy. So the easiest way to do this is I could just hit record here. And the thing is, since this is the first track, it doesn't really matter how much time I give it before I actually start recording. But what I do want to do is I want to make sure to let that metronome, let's see here. Yeah, I want to make sure to let that metronome, this is the metronome click button right here. So if I press play, now it's going to give me a click. Now, of course, this is why you have to have headphones when you record music, right? Because you don't want the click in the recording. So if I get my headphones, I put my headphones in. I'm just not going to do that right now, though, because I'm demonstrating. So say you have your headphones in and you can hear the click. What you want to do is, I'll hit record, and it's recording the click. You don't want that. You want that to be in the headphones. But what you do is you let it click, and you decide how many clicks you're going to use to come in. You want this to be organized. So say maybe just one measure, like here. So that's not going to sound very good because I let the click go through. And I have the mic way too high. But let's just see what it sounds like. So I did that just to show you that it's that important to set your click, set your metronome to the appropriate tempo, instead of just recording something and not having a click. Because if you have a click, now I can go in and maybe do a second guitar part if I wanted to, and it's going to match up completely. Or a bass track. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you're doing a drum track and you're like me, you're a one-man show, then that means you're definitely going to want to give yourself probably 8 measures or so of prep time, because you got to get your butt over to the drums, listen to that click, internalize it, and then start recording, your track. And try to hit it exactly where it's supposed to be. It's not easy if you're a one-man show, but how you do it is you leave yourself room. So let me give an example of that. Let's go ahead and delete that. If I was going to do this with some drums, which I probably will eventually, I would give it probably easy 4 measures for sure, but maybe even more than that, maybe like 8. So that was 1. So that gave me enough time to get to the drums. Now here's another 4 to internalize the tempo. 3. And by this time I have sticks in my hand and I'm ready to play. Here it goes. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to actually record. So let me get my mic set and let me get some headphones going. So now that I have my headphones in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to where I can hear the click and I can hear the output of the mic. You also need to set your level, by the way. How you do that is you play your idea and you get it right before it peaks, or even less, a little less than right before it peaks. That way you have lots of volume, but it doesn't peak on you, because you don't want it peaking. You can hear when I do a P, it peaks. That's really annoying. It's because I don't have a shock thing on here. So I'm going to go ahead and record a little bit. And I don't have it set correctly. Let me figure out what's going on. Alright, now I have the met in my ear. Make sure you can hear the met good enough. Alright, so now that I have the met in my ear, now the program is not going to record the met. It's only going to record the guitar. Now, I'm going to mention one cool thing about this actual idea, this riff, is it's actually a little loop. So what that means is I could have just played that once, and then using a program like this, since I am using a click, this button, that means to repeat, that means to loop. This guy is what it's going to export when I get done exporting it. This is your snap. So that means it's going to snap, it's going to quantize on a certain beat, which is really, really helpful. That means it's never going to just be random. It's always going to be on some sort of beat. It keeps one to loop. So if I press play, Now if I hit the metronome button, I don't have a met. So the trick I'm about to show you is this button right here is a cut button. So let me zoom in. You zoom in with G and H. H is in, G is out. And I liked that first run. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that first run because I didn't really play it 100% correctly over and over again, which some musicians might think is cheap, but in reality it's just a way to execute using a recording. So now I just gotta find the other side of the loop. And I feel like this needs more body, so I'm gonna go into this equalizer. I'm gonna play with that a little bit. I really don't like this guitar that much. I'm thinking about selling it. I don't really like how it sounds. I think I want some reverb. So what I'm doing right here is this is just a type of reverb. Now see what I did though at that point is I ended it at a certain time on purpose. Right there, let me figure it out. Right there, yeah, is where that first beat would end. And you go here back to select, you select that part. No, I didn't mean to do that. And you delete it. That way, if I wanted to keep repeating this over and over again, it would be in beat. Let me zoom out so I can see everything. Not that far. Alright, so there's that little idea. That really doesn't sound that great. I kind of like that effect. I'm not even gonna act like I know how to do all this. I'm more of a by ear kind of guy. So in reality, any acoustic guitar thing you ever record, I don't care how good you are, it's gonna sound thin. So what we like to do is, guess what we like to do? We like to record it twice. So I'm gonna go to add audio track. Now obviously the cheap and easy, fast and easy way to do this is to literally copy it and paste it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's gonna give you more body. And then you can go here and this would be like your left and right. So you can make this more right and this more left. And guess what? No one's ever going to notice because it's the same exact thing. Now I have something that sounds stereo. Raise this master up. Now what's cool about this though is, now that I have two tracks with the same thing, I can use one with an effect and one with a different effect. So now you can start playing around with effects. You know, who doesn't like doing that, right? That's kind of the one of the benefits of using a program like this. Like I could put a different kind of reverb on this one if I wanted to. Not what I meant to do. Control Z. Let's put a little delay on this one. That's cool. I kind of dig that, honestly. Now, if I wanted to record some vocals for this, I would go back in the headphones and I would make the output go all into the headphones because that's the only way to make that work. And I would record some vocals for it. Put your metronome back on. Na, 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 na. And of course, I'm just playing around. That was pretty bad, pretty rough. But see, I didn't really hear that in my head. So you really only should do something with your music if you hear it, if you can literally hear it, like that it needs to be there, you know? I didn't necessarily feel that that needed to be there. I'm just kind of messing around. Now, if I want to record another one on top of that for some harmony, harmony on top of that, right? We'll see what it sounds like. But this is how you get ideas. So I gotta turn that down because it's too loud. No, no, no. Oh, it recorded that. Okay. I messed up. Sorry, guys. No, no, no. No, no. No, 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 no. So if I re-record that now and make it better, I can go back here. No. No, no, no. No, no. No, 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 no. That was better. I mean, they're both pretty rough, but that's why I always do this. Make them quiet and do a lot of them. That's my secret with vocals. Make a bunch of them quiet and do a lot of them, and in the end, you get something that sounds decent. Oh, this is such a ghetto recording video. Now, I didn't, like I said in the beginning, I didn't hear that anyway, so I wouldn't do something for a song unless I heard it. What I hear next probably is definitely obviously drums because I'm a drummer. But then after that, I hear like some sort of pretty cool bass line. I'm not sure what that would be yet, but. Yeah, it's going to take some figuring out. I don't know.